to share some important news about what we are doing to help Idaho small businesses as we continue to reopen our economy. We will be making $300 million available to Idaho small businesses in new Idaho Rebound grants. Cash grants of up to $10,000 will be available to small businesses. With this step, we will be able to support more than 30,000 of Idaho's smallest businesses. Many of these businesses are the backbone of their communities. No other state in the country is putting up a larger amount from the Coronavirus Relief Fund to help small businesses with cash support. Since this money is intended to help Idaho's small businesses, the Coronavirus Financial Advisory Committee will establish sideboards and tomorrow to ensure the grants are carefully targeted. Businesses will be eligible if they have not already received an SBA-backed payroll protection loan or received less than $10,000 in such a loan. Other eligibility criteria will be finalized by the committee and will be outlined at reboundidaho.gov next Tuesday at 9 a.m. The State Tax Commission will facilitate the application process. Small businesses will need to create a taxpayer access point account and are encouraged to do so as soon as possible. Information on how to create these accounts is available at reboundidaho.gov. My Economic Rebound Advisory Committee recommended this step to ensure a path back to prosperity and restore the trajectory we had just 70 days ago. I understand the need for transparency around spending public money, and that is why all recipients of Idaho Rebound grants will be displayed at transparentidaho.gov.